check out the Range Rover SVR, possibly the hottest-selling Range Rover ever built, packing 8 cylinders and a killer attitude. So sit tight and don't go anywhere. This is Motopedia.ae. The Range Rover SVR borrows heavily from both the existing Range Rover and the Evoque, but comes up with a design that blends both seamlessly and develops a new design language that is fresh, exciting, and sporty. The SVR is designed and engineered by Special Vehicle Operations, Land Rover's Center of Excellence for bespoke commissions, luxury editions, and performance models. It has a more muscular, broad-shouldered approach that gives it gravitas and allows for better handling as well. The SVR features a much slimmer nose than its elder brother, with winged headlamps that extend around the corner. What's most apparent are the blacked-out air vents on both the fender and hood. These vents are finished in dynamic metallic paint and are much more discreet, but exude an aura of the power that lies under the hood. The roofline slopes toward the rear with a short overhang, much like the smaller Evoque, but retaining its elegance and beefy stance. From the rear, the main attraction is the quad exhaust pipes, neatly tucked away, but clearly expressing the performance SUV's intentions. The rear spoiler as well is not just for show, as it increases the downforce on the car at higher speeds. The height-adjustable suspension showcases the 22-inch 5 split-spoke wheels to give the car a truly menacing appeal. While you won't find a great deal of difference between this and the Range Rover Sport, it's the little things that add up and create a fresh expression of a performance SUV. The SVR is called the Fast Range Rover, which is quite a large check to write. But their engineers have the cash ready to back up that claim. This beast is equipped with a 5-liter supercharged V8 engine, delivering 550 horsepower and a monumental 680 Newton-meters of torque that will push this 2-ton monster from 0 to 100 in 4.4 seconds. The 2-stage active exhaust has electronically controlled valves, and that's what delivers that throaty sound that petrol heads will love. With this car, Range Rover promised a faster, firmer car, and they've delivered. The suspension has been given a heavy dose of tightening, meaning the normally luxuriously floating drive of the Range is not happening. But it's increased the driver's feel of the road, if you want to put a good spin on it. The 8-speed gear shift gets even better in sport mode. With the dynamic suspension mode on, the car becomes something that you can connect with, something that will listen to your commands without interfering too much with their own electronics. And this is precisely what puts the SVR ahead of the Cayenne Turbo. And while the SVR may not be the fastest SUV in the world, a title claimed by the Porsche Cayenne Turbo S, it's likely the most tactile and well-engineered SUV that you can have fun with. Whether on tarmac or off-road, agile air suspension on the SVR eats up the ground with pleasure and demands more. The SVR follows firmly in the footsteps of the Range Rover Sport, but with even more edginess in the interior design, particularly aimed at enhancing its racing pedigree and not luxury. That's not to say that the car is bare. Inside, you'll find all instruments crafted from refined materials and ergonomically placed to create a sparse, minimalistic interior. Much different from what you might see in a Porsche Cayenne. First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The monstrous Oxford leather-covered bucket seats finished in 2-tone black and white. These are clearly visible, even when standing a few feet away from the car, and clearly outline that this is no ordinary Range Rover. As you slip in and get comfortable, you find a somewhat calm, clean environment on the dash, only broken up by the large 8-inch multimedia touch display. If you're not a fan of touchscreens, that's bad news, because unfortunately Range does not provide a dial controller like the BMW or Audi. Still, the screen is intuitive, if perhaps a bit slow to respond, and can also be used with voice commands. The gauge cluster is a 12.3-inch electronic display, giving it a futuristic look. Combined with the heads-up display desperately needed when you need to keep your focus on the road, the SVR is probably the highest-tech Range Rover available. The 825-watt 19-speaker Meridian sound system is one of the best in the business and delivers cinema-quality surround sound, with the only interference being the beautiful exhaust notes of the engine. Luxury features include a power tailgate, a panoramic sunroof, ambient LED lighting to suit your mood, and cooled or heated seats depending on the region. The SVR's Oxford leather bucket seats provide 16 ways to adjust and get yourself comfortable as you get ready to tackle the road, dunes, marshes, or track. The seats themselves are extremely comfortable, even if they are a bit high, making getting in and out a bit of an effort. Interestingly, even the rear is fitted with bucket seats, complete with harnesses that most people will never use. Although it looks as if the car is built for 4 passengers, you should be able to squeeze in a smaller adult in the middle seat, and with reasonable comfort too. With rear bucket seats though, you can't fold them completely, reducing your load carrying ability somewhat. Rear passengers also get their own climate control settings, and a surprisingly good amount of knee, leg, and headroom. Large windows both front and rear, combined with the panoramic roof, bathe the car in sunlight and break up the monotone interior. The SVR's air-loaded suspension springs keep all passengers planted firmly in their seats, even on a bumpy terrain, making this not just the SUV that Dad wants to drive, but can also be the car that can pick up the groceries and children from their football match. The SVR is a performance SUV that perfectly balances the line between out-and-out speed and handling while retaining its pedigree of a luxury car brand. With the number of millionaires increasing every day, the SVR is sure to find many homes.